Man, Marco, the great, like I said, the greatest track in the world, in my opinion. I'm just excited to see another race here. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Hello everyone, and yeah, we say a big hello to Austin, who's enjoying the sights and sounds of the Formula Regional North America at Circuit of the Americas. So it's me and Avery for this one, and this track is a staple, I think, in the 3.5. I don't remember it not being in the schedule since we started covering this series, and it's always a very exciting one, very tricky infield section, but of course the big one is, you know, IndyCar Turn 1 and the front stretch, of course the Brickyard front stretch, DRS, draft, it's always a fantastic place for overtaking and shenanigans.
Oh, absolutely, Marco. This track is, I mean, it's a legendary. I mean, they've ran so many amazing races here, and we're going to have another one here today. Qualifying is just underway. Robert Charlton, pretty much known in this series for being really quick in qualifying, had a great podium run last week, as you saw here on Apex Racing TV, going on to the turn one, the IndyCar Oval turn one, that is, and then on to this long straightaway. This is where you're going to, really going to be able to make some good moves in the toe. You see that big virtual crowd there. I'm usually standing there sometimes when the 500's here, but not here in the virtual world. Being able to call this a great race for this Formula 3.5 challenge. You need to get a good corner entrance into the road course turn 1 and 2 because you need to carry a lot of speed through here and be able to work on your brake. He was just finished up his last lap, and Greg Olson barely the quickest there. Right now we're looking at Paul Ilbrink. Paul Ilbrink, usually one of the drivers that kind of qualifies in the top 6, but like you said before, he does struggle a little bit on qualifying. So far we got Greg Olson, the quickest, and Tarleton, Delisle, DeCarmo, and Ilbrink. Very close battle, Marco. The times are super close for the top, for the top 10 cars.
Absolutely, as we have been used to in this track especially, it's always been super close, and of course, having a clean start in turn 1, of course we've seen in real life and in iRacing a bit of drama more often than not in that corner, because you always think you have space and then you have no space, and of course the left-right right, left, right that you have after turn 1, it's always a bit tricky to navigate for this driver. Let's see Paul Ilbrink then, if he can improve with a pedestrian second and third sector, and I don't think he's going to improve. He does, so he makes me eat my hat, as we say in Italy, and he jumps into fourth. Other drivers on track right now, Pinsker and Freckleton, they are 16th and 14th respectively, and just about to finish their last, no improvement for Freckleton there, I'm afraid. So Pinsker coming around the final corner, another lap that seems to be not good, and not a very good starting position for James, very, but he has showed us, that he can have some absolutely incredible comebacks during the race. Now everyone is qualified, so with 40 seconds before the normal time, here we go with the grid.
Starting first, you have Greg Olson, the Positive Sim Racing driver. Usually you see the other Positive Sim Racing driver, Tim Delisle, in the pole, but he's in third. So it goes Olson, then Robert Tarleton, Delisle, Paul Ilbrink, Fabio DeCarmo, Steve Honan, Edward Samborski, Omar Baja, Nicholas Bradford, Riley Miller, Manuel Domingo. Christopher Harbino is in 12th, goes down to 13th. We have Shane Russell, Dalen Freckleton, 14th, followed by Crouch, James J. Pinkster, who, like you said, Marco can make a run through the field. And he last season, I believe, he was running the medium downforce, so he said he'll probably run the high downforce this time. Then it goes to Jamie Byrne, Luciano Costa, Luke Groom, James Byrne, Jason Henrique, and Luis Marugan. What a stacked field we have here for a Formula 3.5 challenge. The cars are starting to grid. You got DeCarmo sitting there, always quick. Had a couple incidents in the race here last season. But yeah, Marco, this is a stacked field.
Yeah, I was just about looking for the button. 4.4 strength of field for these drivers tonight. And if we take a look at the license, 6.4, 4.9, 8.3, 6.8, 5.9. I mean, these guys have like, they all have like 5,000 to 6,000 more rating than me, even 7,000 more rating than me, even 8,000 rating more than me. So
Yeah, yeah. If you make this top split here in the Formula 3.5 Challenge, you're no slouch. You're one of the top drivers here on iRacing, and this race is especially usually brings in the top SOF. The lights are getting ready to go out. Waiting on the start. Will Tarleton get a good one, or will Olsen? Good start so far for Tarleton and Olsen. Very clean start. You see a couple cars doing a little mac and cheese in the background. Tarleton's got the preferred line. You see it locking up on the tires. Looks to be Sam Borski. That's Sam Borski in the Renault car. So yeah, Tarleton, great start. Back to Olsen. Contact made with 19 of Miller and Domingo.
Disaster for Domingo, number 2 driver in the room, and now he's lost. Delisle is dropping many positions. Incredible, now he's spinning. And another spin, and mayhem in the backfield.
Yeah, you got Freckleton, Henrique, Delisle, Miller, Domingo. There's a lot of carnage there. Not a clean start so far, but Tarleton remains out front. But we take a look at a replay here from Tim Delisle. Oh, it just goes wide.
Wow. And he was very lucky not to hit anyone or get hit when he was then spinning in the middle of the track, as Nick Bradford goes from some agricultural racing there. So, well, I had to say that Austin has missed the best first lap of the season.
He sure has. I'd like to thank Ken for subscribing to the channel. But yeah, Tarleton's going to lead the first lap. And then goes Olsen, Ilbrink, DeCarlo, and Honan. And Delisle's all the way back in 21st. We're going to see if he's going to be able to make a charge. I do expect to see his name to move up the lineup. Great battle here with Groom and Henrique. Groom able to get a good send in on Henrique. It looks like it was Henrique making the send, actually. There's Tim Delisle. You know, his car looks actually really clean though, Marco.
Yeah. So, last and the second to last are the number 1 and 2 cars in the split. It's absolutely incredible. Here we go, Tim Delisle breaking that thing I just said by jumping up into 20th position. So he passes Riley Miller, but there is a long way to go and see 12 seconds. It's a fantastic chance for, I mean, you know, all of these drivers are super quick, but I would say, especially Robert Tarleton as of late has had some massive improvements, I think.
Yeah, Tarleton's really been showing the way lately, putting on good speed in qualifying and then backing it up into good run. Last week he took a podium. That's a pretty good gap, 0.6 of a second back to positive Sim Racing Greg Olsen. Olsen got a little bit quicker time, but you know, he had the toe of Tarleton. So yeah, Tarleton been really showing a lot of speed lately, and you know, really impressing a lot of people. And it's pretty much known that if you want to be quick, you got to be around Tarleton's speed. Nice send by Costa over Byrne. There's Bradford, excuse me. Bradford gets a nice move. See Tim Delisle back in 20th. He needs to make some moves if he wants to get going. Right now, this is the best opportunity to make some passes. He is just driving on the razor's edge. Got one a little wide there. You see a little bit different line that he's running, and he's one of the fastest guys that you'll ever see. And so sometimes he runs a little, what may seem unconventional line, but is the fastest way around the track. We'll see if Delisle's going to make a move.
You know, it's a bit of an odd situation for him. He's used to, you know, just check out and run away, but now he has to fight in traffic, and that is, of course, a completely different kind of beast. We know he has the pace, and we know that he's probably, well, the numbers speak for him. He's the best driver in the field, but of course now it's a new element for him. And now Robert Tarleton answers Greg Olson and sets the fastest time of the race, 1:14.63.
Yeah, Tarleton's starting to show the way a little bit more. It's starting to build a gap. A lot of cars are trying to change the different line here as they go down this front straightaway. And Delisle's just still changing, just kind of running nice and smooth. Not really, surprised he hasn't really tried to make a move yet. But there's some battling in front of him between Freckleton, Byrne, and they're going to try to, They almost had it.
I think Delisle made contact with Luis Marugan. Let's see the replay.
Looking back, you see Delisle right behind him. Yeah, a little contact was made with Delisle. Maybe Luis kind of slowed up a little earlier, but yeah, contact made with Delisle. That's going to eat up that left front just a little bit of damage for Tim. Yeah, as you see, Miller just go hard off track, taking the path less traveled. Oh, and Luis got lucky there.
Yeah. So you are absolutely right, Avery. Front wing, you can see the front left. Wow. You know, all the bad luck and all the bad everything, you know, that could go the opposite way for Team Delisle has gone bad in these first 5 laps of the race. Now he has to contend with this big damage in front of them. You can see Freckleton, Groom, side by side there. It's Enrique and Luciano Costa. At the front, another quick lap for Tarleton, 14.55, another fastest lap of the race.
You take a look at that timing and scoring on the left side of your screen. That's a 2-second gap between Tarleton and Olsen, and Tarleton is starting to, you know, really show the way, just putting out some spectacular laps, and this is the time to do it. You need to make a gap so so Olsen won't be in the tow. So, you know, Tarleton really doing a great job leading this field. Takes that opportunity with Delisle all the way down in 19th. Be like, hey, I might try to steal this W away, but we're only lap 5 of 28 as he gets ready to cross the line to finish lap number 5 with a pretty good sized gap over the field. As you can see, Olsen and Ilbrink just back there. Oh, Delisle goes off again.
Man, oh man, I think he's going to bring this car into the pits and call it a day, or at least change the front wing. Man, oh man, what a... I'm going to message Austin after this race, because now I think he's riding the pace car at Circuit of the Americas in real life, and tell him, you know, Team Delisle crashed in the first lap, then crashed again, and now he's very close to retire. I think certainly out for... This is, I'm afraid, and I can say with certainty, this is going to be his drop week. One of these 4 drop weeks for the season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You get 4 drop weeks, but you know, you don't want to use them this way. You'd rather use them just because you're running a little slow. But you know, the one thing with Delisle, he'll bounce back next week, and you know, it'll be a new week next week for him. But right now, it's this week, and it's the Robert Tarleton show. As he's just pulling away from Olsen, Ilbrink, DeCarmo, and Honan, your top 5. Man, Tarleton's putting on a clinic. You know, this is a track where, you know, he's done well at. He's done pretty well as you take a look back at Greg Olsen. We'll see if Ilbrink is going to make a move. Ilbrink not quite there, but Paul's fast running that final podium's position, but he's not going to settle with 3rd.
Onan just jumped to DeCarmo, by the way, on the straight. Maybe a bad exit from the infield section for Fabio. Crouch and Byrne are side by side as well, as they are coming very, very close to each other. Spring the 3 letters so we can have more space. But yeah, I think that Olsen has to focus a bit more on the mirrors right now than in front of him. And I find he's almost, there is a long way to go, mind you, but this livery here has been the protagonist of 2 of the worst moments in F1's history on this racetrack. Once it was their fault when they did that parade finish, which ended up you know, in a mess. And the second time it wasn't their fault when there were only 6 cars driving in that Grand Prix, and Ferrari had their only win of the 2005 season with Schumacher first, Barrichello second. So, I mean, but this is would be almost poetic if finally Robert Tarleton could get his victory. As now we have a good fight. Here we go, Samborski and Baha.
Yeah, Samborski a little bit further back in the field than we normally see him, up in the 6th, right in front of Baha. Baha's going to try to send it in there, kind of threw a little fake. Was hoping Eddie was going to make a little mistake, but calm, cool Samborski was just fine. The DFR driver made a little bit of gap. Going to try to look maybe catching up to DeCarmo, but yeah, Samborski, really good job defending, back up to 2nd. Olsen, Positive Sim Racing, trying to hold off the Radicals Online. Paul Ilbrink Ilbrink just kind of waiting for a moment. The gap still remains above 2 seconds between first and second. So right now it's just a battle for them for the second podium spot. And Ilbrink just nice, calm, cool, collective, super smooth. Very tough part of the track here. You need to get a good corner entrance here that can get you the best exit you can. You take a look at the speed on the bottom right of your screen. And this is the fastest part of the track. And you know, I'm waving at where that's where I'm standing at the real 500. But so yeah, this is such a great track here. Man, he's just going so fast. In the toe. Looks like he's going to try to make a move. Goes to the right side of Olsen. Going to battle for second. We'll see if he's able to make the overtake before the turn. Not quite, but Olsen. What a great job by Olsen. But no, Ilbrink's able to send it on in there. And you have to let him go in that situation. Or otherwise you're going to crash it. Like you said earlier. Ooh, kind of hits that curve. But like you said earlier, tightens up super quick. But almost side by side through here. Olsen trying to find a way. Ilbrink showing him the way at the moment.
Ilbrink went for a little bit of a ride in the grass, and if we can look at this camera angle, we cannot see it, but there is a big smile under the helmet as Olsen, out of nowhere. Maybe a slowdown for Ilbrink. He went probably wide on the right-hander that brings you back to the backstretch. If you go too much wide there, you get a slowdown. But all things considered, if we look at Robert Tarton's progression in this last lap, look how much he's going to gain on second place. I think more than a second. Second and a half, I think, closer to a second and a half in this lap alone over second place. Let's look at this as they go on the start-finish line. And we don't have time to look at it because Ilbrink is coming back to Olsen.
Yeah, Tarleton just really utilizing his fast pace to pull away from Ilbrink and Olsen, who've been battling. And now they've been battling, and guess what? Steve Honad's right there ready to make this a three-way tango.
So let's see the gap in this last lap, 1.6 seconds. So if we can see that, big smile under the helmet. I can tell you, I'm sure, I have reliable sources, there's a big smile under the helmet. Not like this guy. Not unlike this guy. I mean, at least Samborski has his smile on the outside of the helmet. It's easier for us to notice, you know?
Yeah, you know, yeah, I got a message from my inside source too that he's got a big smile on his face. It's great to have those sources give us that information. But yeah, it's right now, it's been the Tarleton show, which is really awkward to say, Marco, because it's usually somebody else's show. Who just put down the quickest line, or lap, excuse me, was Tim Delisle, 1:14.3, and right now he's just trying to drive the wheels off this thing. Maybe not worried about where the finish is, just trying to run the fastest time of the race, and he's done that so far. But unfortunately, the guy who has the fastest lap is in 22nd. But the guy who's got the second fastest lap is Robert Tarleton, is in the lead, 4-second gap. Just, you could saw a little bit there. Man, Tarleton is just putting on a clinic. About a half a second quicker the last time around. But that's what happens when they start battling. Start getting a little bit slower. Just kind of slowing up a little bit. But, you know, Ilbrink's got the second spot over Olsen. They're starting to pull away a little bit from Steve Honad, DeCarmo, and Sam Borski. So maybe they don't need to quite push it. We take a look at Byrne. This is Jamie Byrne. Luciano. Nice little battle for 11th. On board the left side of Luciano. We'll see if he's going to be able to get up the Byrne here on the big straight. But nice little pack we have here. This battle for 11th. It spreads at, about 2 seconds there. 2.5 seconds between 11th and 15th. So a nice little battle we have here. We'll see if they use DRS.
I was thinking about, you were talking about your seat for the Indy 500, no? You know what's my seat for the Indy 500 usually?
Where you're at?
Exactly. This seat here.
It's a great seat. Oh man, these digital fans, virtual fans are on their feet. Oh well, ooh, nice little send, and that's a sharp looking car there. Luciano trying to make a descent on Byrne, but Henrique is right there. Looks like there could have been a little bit of contact. Henrique. Oh, Henrique gives Luciano a how do you do?
And also, yeah, both cars are off. The Brabham, the metallic Brabham, it usually is a matte color. He went for a more metallic look. I really like it for this Brabham Nelson Piquet tribute livery. In the meantime, let's see if my timing is working correctly, but I think that Paul Hilbrink is on a massive charge on Robert Tarleton.
Yeah, must be using that DRS. So, you know, Tarleton might start kind of, you always got that F3 box in that bottom right hand of your, when you're driving. And you're like, hey, this guy's starting to get a little closer. I might need to start using that DRS. You know, you are limited to how much DRS you have, so you can't just use it every single lap. As we take a look at DeCarmo and Samborski, the battle for 5th. DeCarmo out in front of Samborski. Eddie getting just a good little run into the corner, making sure he hits those apexes and gets good corner exits. You really need to carry your speed here. Take a look at onboard. Samborski had to catch that little bit loose. Remember, you need to get here and you can't go too wide. If you go too wide, you're going to get a slowdown penalty. You see Samborski went perfect exit there. And he's got a serious face right now, just a serious face. And, oh, he's nice and serious. Seriously serious is Eddie Samborski. We'll pretty much call him Seriously Samborski.
Let's see if he uses DRS here on the... of course, you need to be careful. If you activate it too early, then you are basically doing a corner with a DRS open, which is a bad idea, let me tell you. But no DRS for him. Let's see if Fabio is using it. No, both of them are DRS free for this. And you know, the beauty of this track is that if you are in the draft, you don't really need DRS, no? You can make the pass even without it, even though you can hear almost bouncing on the limit. There is Samborski, then he thought about it, he really thought about putting a dive bomb there on Fabio, but no dice.
Yeah, threw a little fakey there on Samborski there, but now he's kind of in striking distance, gonna go almost side by side in that corner, and he's all over DeCarmo, and you see Herbino right behind him, just kind of just clenching his teeth, waiting for the opportunity. Got the serious face on. Samborski, DeCarmo get a good exit. A little bit wide when Herbino, but I think he'll be okay.
You know, we've seen Christopher Binot as a protagonist both in the F3.5 series in the past and in the season as well. And of course, in the previous season of the Apex Racing Academy F3 Championship, I think he's going to be back for the next season, which starts in 2 weeks' time, and the races will be on Saturday nights, just before this one. So you will have, if you like your open wheelers and you like your F3s and your F3.5s, Saturday night is going to be your night here on Apex Racing TV, because back to back we will have the Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 series and then this F3.5 challenge, and I'm going to broadcast both of them. So yeah, I mean,
then you want to tune into that.
I mean, that I think is the decisive factor if you want to tune into that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll definitely tune in for that for sure. Now, I'll be here talking for this one, so I'll make sure I watch yours beforehand. But we got a great battle here, just past the halfway point. On board, Christopher Herbino. Really just kind of sitting in a spot where it's like, hey, yo, Eddie, I need to start making some moves on DeCarmo so I can start make that move on him. Yeah, Herbino.
Now that I think about it, I'm doing the F3 series, if I'm not mistaken, with the British and Irish Lions, which are Peter Mackay and Jack Cunan, and then I'm doing this one with the Crazy Americans, you and Austin, so I should get a raise, I think.
All you have to do with us Crazy Americans there, eh? I know what you're talking about, so yeah, we are pretty crazy. You know, we do get in some good arguments, Austin and I, but they're fun arguments. We do miss him, but he is that Coda having a blast. But we're taking a look back at DeCarmo. Eddie's got a big run. As you can see, there's no DRS used for Samborski, and DeCarmo was fighting very hard to defend there and kind of gave up the spot. But will he able to get a good entrance here? DeCarmo has the preferred line. Now Samborski able to get around him, and Herbino says, hey, I wanted some of this battle. Wow, falls 2 positions back. Great moves by Samborski and Christopher Herbino. But lap 16 of 18, we still got a ways to go. But what a good battle we have here so far for the top 5. Top 4 positions are pretty much set unless some crashes happen. But as you can see them right in front of him, Steve Honan, who's had some very bad luck lately, up into the 4th spot. Great run for him. But right now the battle is between Samborski, Herbino, and DeCarmo a little bit. Baja right behind him. Kind of says, hey, you guys, I need to start battling a little more so I can catch up a little bit easier. But right out in front, coming around IndyCar turn number 1, Robert Tarleton, 2.8 second gap, as you can see by those green, the green lines. He's fast.
And this lap he gained 8 tenths of a second over Hilbrink. Hilbrink, I think, has to worry now. Again, more about Olson than about Tarleton. Here we go side by side once again. Here comes Herbino.
Herbino putting a good send in on Samborski. Samborski's in Herbino's spot the last time around, and Herbino just says, hey, see you later. I got the hand out the window waving at him as they gone by. But right now we take a look at DeCarmo on board him, looking from the left side of his helmet. And he's got teeth clenched a little bit. He's got the face that he's like, hey, I need to start making some moves. Take a look at Omar Baja right there, caught up to that packet. It's a 4-way battle for the top 5, which is led by Herbino. Herbino has a good lead.
Omar Bath flying into the catch fence at Monza was this season or last season. No? I think maybe the first race of this season, I don't remember. Maybe the last of the previous one. No, it was the last because the first race of the season was Silverstone, I think. So.
Yeah, he went flying last season. I mean, literally call the airport, call air traffic control because he was flying. See Delisle here gonna catch up to Luis. Gonna try to get up the 21st.
Round number 2 between these two guys, and they came to blows in the earlier portion of the race. Hopefully this time it will be a bit less dramatic.
Yeah, you see, nice pass on him. Number 1 of Delisle is up to 21st, but Domingos made a pretty good charge up to 15th. He was also involved in a first lap crash. Take a look at, there's Domingo right there, all the way up to 16th, looking to find 15th over Luke Groom. So yeah, a really good charge for him, trying to make an unfortunate day a little less unfortunate for him.
Yeah, teammate to, of course, Paul Hilbrink, both driving for Radicals. And there is Paul Hilbrink. Yeah, I can confirm to you that Tarleton is really, I mean, previous lap was identical, down to 2 1,000ths of a second, but this lap I think that still Tarleton is just a bit faster, and you know, those laps are starting to count down. I think he will get 2 tenths quicker, 3 tenths quicker this lap. And Paul Hilbrink, again, I think he's got Greg Olson fairly planted into his draft. Let's see this time, 2 tenths of a second, 1.5. And so, more worry for Paul is to keep second place, as Fabio DeCarmo in the draft of Samborski, but no dice. As Luciano Costa, unfortunately, with his beautiful Brabham, is once again into the daisies. Let's see what happens.
It went a little wide. You got to be careful. You can't get into the grass because you're going to end up spinning out, and the ground crew will not be happy with you. They're going to have to redo that grass. Thankfully, it's virtually. Oh, another car off. That is J.J. Pinkster. James J. Pinkster going off.
Did he came into contact with Samborski? Let's see. Or maybe the two things were unrelated. I think no. Samborski. Ooh. Samborski went around, and at the same time, unrelated. There's Pinsker. Flies into the gravel.
Yeah, you got into the kitty litter there. You don't want to get stuck in there. You have to get the toe out. But take a look at Jamie Byrne. And then we have Nicholas Bradford right in front of him, and Rob Crouch looking back from Bradford. We'll see if Byrne can make a move. Byrne looks to the right side, tries to get the preferred line. Is he going to have enough run going into the first corner? Not quite. You have to wait another time. Great job by defending from Nicholas Bradford. You see Bradford and James J. Pinkster right in front of him had that spin. So, Pinkster fell to 10th, but still a pretty good run for him. He was up 6 spots actually from the start. Like you said earlier, he is really good at making charges. Byrne looked to get a good little send into Bradford, but not quite enough speed into that. And, Bradford showing him the way.
As per every race in the past few weeks, we send a big hug to F3.5 regular James Mallow, who is having some personal issues. We have heard from Tim Delisle, who just spun, by the way, that he is doing better as of late. And we can't wait to have you back on track, James, here on Saturday nights. Oh dear. And
oh dear.
That's another contact between Delisle and Marugan. So Delisle is having a nightmare of a race. Back on
not
the
Yeah, Delisle's not having a good day today, and he's gonna pack up the bag. He did do a race yesterday for the F3.5 challenge, but yep, he's gonna pack the bag up. Says, hey, guys, sorry for junking the car, but we're gonna bring it back next week to Imola, and says, hey, we're gonna come in with the vengeance. We're gonna try to get the W, and that'll be next week on Apex Racing TV, same time, with Austin Knight joined alongside. I unfortunately will not be here, but so you can have the Crazy Texan help calling the race. But right now it's Tarleton got that 3-second gap over Paul Ilbrink, and very unfamiliar view here. That's Tim Delisle behind him.
Yeah.
But he's a lap down.
Incredible to see that +1 on Tim Delisle, kind of a rarity, So you were saying about how rude it was for Austin to miss your favorite racetrack. Next week you're missing my own track.
I know. You hate to see it. You really do. I'm sorry. But right now the battle is between Bradford, Crouch, and Byrne for the top 11 positions. As you see with the flags on the timing and scoring is just, you see a lot of the people from the Australian New Zealand club and a lot of Americans. But you also have, Brazilians, some Spaniards, and some UKNI from Pinkster. And you got Paul Ilbrink, who's just super fast and having such a stellar race. But yeah, Bradford able to put on, and it's pretty much Bradford, Crouch, and the Byrne crew in 13th and 14th. Sometimes it's easy to get those, the Byrne crew is side by side. There we go.
To the full name to differentiate
the full name.
The two of them.
Yeah, because the only difference is one's got an I and one's got an S.
Yeah.
They have the other letters that are the same. But yeah, the Byrne crew are just putting on a stellar job. You see Crouch trying to make a move on Bradford. Bradford, yeah, there we go. Bradford. Those DFR cars are always looking really nice and Marco, but we say that this every broadcast that these cars always look sweet. 23 laps down so far. But man,
being costume team liveries or replicas of real life cars, I think this is one of the best looking series that we broadcast here on Apex Racing TV, and that I'm a sucker for a good livery, so I'm pretty happy about it. We can enjoy some spectacular cars over every Saturday night, and now we have 5 laps to go. We are only half it's been a very quick race to go by this one, only half an hour in, and still Robert Tarleton, that gap know, grows and then shrinks and then grows and then shrinks again. Now it's been shrinking the past couple of laps. Matter of fact, I think Tarleton lost 7/10 of a second in the past 2 laps. Past 3 laps, sorry, because the last lap was virtually identical between the pair of them. As you can see, there's a ton of traffic that these guys are contending with right now, so easier said than done. And it's not very indicative, I think, for the time being to consider you know, who's gaining and who's losing until they clear this traffic. Let's bring up the track map, and you can see that now for Ilbrink there is a bit of traffic to deal with. Number 2 there for some reason in yellow.
That was nice, Tim Delisle, just letting him take the path less traveled, so Ilbrink had the preferred line. Because Tim knows what it's like to be the fast car and catching up a lap down car. You always want to have the preferred line pulling off. Just very respectful by Tim there to let. Well, it was his teammate, but I think if it was anybody else, he'd do the same thing. So unfortunate for him, but take a look at Omar Baja. Samborski gonna look to put a big send in there. He wasn't quite able to make it stick. Little wheel wiggle for Samborski, saw there from the back of Omar Baja. 25 laps down here, 28 here at the beautiful Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We got a capacity crowd here at the track today. But look at Samborski just getting good apex there, good exit. You see, look at it. That's a lot of speed on the bottom right hands. I don't know how fast that really is, but the numbers keep going up, but I know that's pretty quick. But yeah, a lot of acceleration on these cars. And when you get some drivers like we have here today, like the Tarletons, the Olsons, the Honan, the Ilbrinks, Tim Delisles, Samborskis, I mean, pretty much who's ever in this split, they got a lot of speed. Samborski.
100 mile an hour pitch is around 160 kilometers per hour. So, yeah.
They're going fast. Eddie makes a nice easy pass on Baja, but Baja could have an opportunity. 26 laps down here, or on lap 26 at 28 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Taking a look at a replay of DeCarmo.
Getting past Urbino, just in front of the battle we were watching. I think in a second you will see Samborski and Baja. Yeah, they are popping behind this duo, and now DeCarmo then up into 5th. He's just set up his personal best in the previous lap, so 2 laps ago. So he's getting the best out of his car in these final few laps of the race. Big smoke there because I think Jason Enrique was spinning, and now he's heading for pit road. And this will be the signal of 3 laps to go for our race leader Robert Tarleton.
Yeah, Tarleton just putting on a clinic, showing the way the whole time. I mean, up one spot, and then you have Ilbrink who's up 2 spots. Another battle here coming for DeCarmo. DeCarmo and Honan were side by side for just a moment. But Honan putting on a great run as he got by Herberto. Man, Steve is he's had the worst luck, Marco, and lately, you know, he just hasn't had great luck. But this race, he's got the luck on his side, sitting in the top 5.
I just don't know what happened to him because he had a bit of a gap on Fabio. He must have gotten probably a slowdown on the backstretch, and that gave Fabio the chance to come back at him. Oh, and you jinxed him. He spun.
You hate to see it. The commentator's curse. If you watch this later, Steve, I apologize. I am patting my heart right now. I apologize for that. You hate to see it.
He's got a bit of damage on that left side, I think. Yeah, that left side could has seen better days. I don't know if we can get the camera from the other side. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Those lines on the paint, on the paint scheme. Look. Maybe we can see from the slow motion. Yep.
That's, just a little damage.
White flag in the meantime.
White flag at Indianapolis. That's what they say there. White flag for Robert Tarleton. Putting on a clinic, been showing the way the whole time. Just a couple more corners to go. One One more time around for Tarleton. What a race for Robert Tarleton. Just putting on a clinic. Ilbrink been running super strong. Same with Olsen. And then the top 5 with DeCarmo, Herberto, Honan, and Saborski were pretty much all over the place on board, going through the gears. Hard on the brakes, just chilling through the corners. The toughest turns for him the rest of the race. He's going in. Is he gonna pull a JR Hildebrand and wreck on the final lap? We'll find out. He's clean through the final corner. Gonna take the win here at the greatest racetrack in the world. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is Robert Tarleton, who just put on an absolute clinic. Goes Ilbrink, then Olsen, then they're gonna be the battle for 4th is DeCarmo. DeCarmo able to get a good run. We'll see if we get a side-by-side for 5th, and Herberno just barely screeches by Steve Honan. Looking at James J. Pinkster. Pinkster is he gonna make a move on Russell? We'll have to see at the line. Easy pet. Oh, that was after the checkered. I am so bad.
Don't worry. It's easy to get fooled around here because it's not easy to see where the start-finish line is. As everyone is home, apart from 2 drivers, Dylan Freckleton and Luciano Costa, and they are just about ready to come through the start-finish line. But what a race, and what another surprise winner like we had in week 1, I think, where Christopher Bin won the race there in Silverstone in the opening round of the season. It's Robert Tarleton's day here at the, in the United States. The American driver brings home a fantastic victory, and I think that Avery is standing by with the results for the race.
Yeah, I am standing by here with the results for the race, and we take a look at the winner. Robert Tarleton finally gets his win here on Apex Racing TV for the Formula 3.5 Challenge, followed by Paul Ilbrink, a strong 2nd, Greg Olsen 3rd, Fabio DeCarmo, Christopher Herberno going to round out the top 5, and then goes Honan, Samborski, Omar Baja, Shane Russell, James J. Pinkster get the top 10. And there goes Crouch, Bradford, Jamie Byrne, and then James Byrne, the Byrne combo going 13th and 14th. Manuel Domingo, Riley Miller, Luke Groom, Dylan Freckleton, Luciano Costa, and in 20th place, Tim Delisle. Really unfortunate for him. And then also unfortunate run for Jason Enrique and Luis getting in the 22nd. Man, what a battle we had here, Marco. I am joined alongside with Paul Ilbrink at the moment. Paul, congratulations on a fantastic run in the 2nd place here. How was your race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
A bit eventful at first, I think. Qualifying was not great. I lost a little bit of time, which maybe could have put me on the front row, but I don't know. But otherwise than that, the start was pretty good. I guess I put Tim under a little bit of pressure into the first couple of corners, so forced him into making that mistake that he did. Then I just sat and followed Greg, but as he lost drafts from Robert, I was kind of hoping that he would use some DRS to catch back up again, but he didn't do that. So I went for the pass. It was pretty messy, lost a lot of time with that, and then at the end I did get away from him a little bit, and just enough DRS left to manage the gap towards the end, I think.
Yeah, you really put on a good run. Going from the start. Tim had his little off, and just able to get a nice podium finish. Collecting the podiums is very important for the points. But next week we go to Imola, and I know we had some carnage in that last season. What are your thoughts on that track?
Pretty good track. It's not very easy, so it's really shows off if you're when you're a good driver and you manage to do a flawless race there, because it's easy to make a mistake and throw your car into a spin. So it should prove a good challenge for everybody, and should hopefully also give a good race.
It should be a great race. Unfortunately, I won't be here next week, but Austin will be on the call. But before I let you go, anybody like to thank?
Sure, I want to thank my teammates at Radicals Online and our partners and sponsors: Armor Centrum, Cranfield Simulation, Track Racer, Joe Real Timing, Turn Racing, MOETF Podcast, Pixel Dust, and Six Sideways.
Awesome. We'll see you next week, Paul.
Thank you guys for the broadcast, of course.
That's Paul Ilbrink from the Radicals Online Track Race. We're bringing in Greg Olson, the Positive Sim Racing driver. Greg, congrats on a podium. How was that start from your eyes?
It wasn't the best. Robert got a lightning getaway, to be honest. So as soon as the lights went green, I was pretty safe in my mind that I was going to lose the lead right off the start. Like I was going to have to give way into turn one, but it happens.
Yeah, it was a pretty shaky start for a lot of drivers. We saw a couple other drivers go off, and one was Tim, and then Luciano. So the top two iRacing drivers were out pretty much after the first lap. But how did the rest of the race go for you? Because you're pretty much battling with Paul the whole time.
Yeah, I noticed that actually with Tim. I was worried that I might have caught him out, but it looks like it was just a really rare mistake on his part. So that's bad luck for Tim. But as for the rest of the race, yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep up with Robert, because Robert's got really good pace, as we've all seen like for the last few weeks. So I was really more concerned about Paul, even though Paul keeps saying he never practices, but he always figures it out as he goes along, and he had some really good pace. So I thought, I'll let him through, and we'll just try and keep the gap to P4 nice and big. And then he immediately started making mistakes as soon as he passed me, and we had a bit of a battle. And I was just thinking, oh man, I really don't want Steve to catch me. So luckily it was fine. And I don't know, but I have a feeling, I don't know if you just talked to Paul, it felt like he might have picked up some damage or something during the race, because it seemed like I could catch him down the straight even without a tow about halfway through the race. So that was really helpful for me. I just kind of used Paul's tow to keep my pace up nice and high and conserve my tyres for the rest of the race. So yeah, basically, wasn't much I could do. I just sort of sat in his toe, waited for a mistake, but I always use my DRS mostly at the start, and Paul usually saves his for the end, so I didn't think there was much chance of passing him.
Yeah, he was super quick and showing a really good pace. I asked him the same question. We go to Imola next week. What do you think of that track?
I love Imola. It's one of my favorite tracks. Not necessarily because I'm quick there, but it's just a fantastic track. It's great that F1's going to be back there next week. It's even better that we're going to be back there next week. I think the last time we raced there, I actually picked up my first and only win on broadcast. So lots of good memories. We'll see how we go. I know it's not one of Tim's favorites, but I'm sure after this week he'll be really, really keen to bounce back. So we'll see. I can't wait though. It's going to be great.
Yeah, even if it's not one of his favorite tracks, he usually ends up showing some pretty good speed. But before we let you go, Greg, anybody like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Positive Sim Racing, Tim and Lubomir for the work on the setup. You guys, obviously, for the broadcast. And see you all next week.
All right, we'll see you next week, Greg. That's Greg Olson, third place at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Positive Sim Racing driver. Marco, man, we had such a great race. It was just odd to see some of the heavy hitters fall down to the back of the field. What was your take from the race today?
Let's hear it from one of the big hitters who had a bad day today. Tim Delisle, welcome to the booth, Tim.
Hey.
So Tim, has been an uncharacteristic day at the office for you. So walk us through your race today.
Yeah, it's just a comedy of errors. One of the worst races of my life. I want to apologize to everyone on track for endangering them. Couldn't have gone worse. Like from qualifying, lap 1, I totally missed braking into turn 1. Couple of other mistakes. Lap 2, I overdrove, trying to make up for that time. Put me a bit out of position, and then the first lap, Paul had to go around the outside. I trying to defend that whatever corner it is, I guess turn 3. I just dove in late, closed in on Greg quicker than I expected, which was on me because I was taking such a fast entry. Backed out of it, caught some understeer onto the grass, and I thought, okay, I'll just get back onto the track. I'll be P10, try to work my way up from there. But the grass is so stupid. If anyone from iRacing is listening, fix it. It's ridiculous. You come back on the track and it just throws you into an instant spin. It's just stupid. So anyway, let everyone through. I want to apologize to Lewis, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but yeah, for tagging him from behind. On my screen it was netcode, but that's no excuse. Picked up damage from there, took a pit stop, and I was actually having a bit of fun getting some clean laps in. Set the fastest lap, which is like the only consolation I can take from this race. And then, yeah, just more and more mistakes, just the frustration, the red mist piling up. Nearly took Robert out as he was overtaking me, or overlapping me rather, so apologies to him. And yeah, just really embarrassed, really ashamed, and I'll have to come back better next time.
Yeah, and you get Imola, of course, in 1 week's time to redeem yourself. I'm sure you are already looking forward to that race. I mean, maybe not now, but I'm sure that in a few hours or maybe tomorrow, you will start, getting, the feeling to get back behind the wheel and get down and have a good result there, no?
Kind of. I'm looking forward to trying to redeem myself from this miserable performance, but I actually hate Imola as a track, particularly the chicane. It might be better now that we've had the pogo effect sort of fixed in the car, but our suspension is just not built for a chicane that bumpy. So we'll see. I don't know, I'm going to take some time to calm down. I feel like I'm kind of talking really fast and just being overall a bit ranty, so sorry for bringing the tone of the broadcast down. Yeah, just again, apologies to everyone, and I'll try to make up for it.
I don't know if Avery has a question for you, Avery.
Huh?
Do you have a question for Tim?
No, you pretty much answered it all. I really didn't have any questions, but yeah, it was. Anybody like to thank? There's my question.
Yeah, the team, Positive Sim Racing. Sorry to let you guys down. Congrats to Robert on the win. It was a dominant performance from him today, winning by 8 seconds. I believe it's his first broadcast race win, so that's a big one for him, and I'm sure it'll be the first of many because he's really come alive this season, which is great to see. And congrats to Paul and Greg on the podium. I wish I could have been up there with you, but wasn't to be this week. And thanks to you guys for the coverage, and I hope you didn't watch me too much.
Thanks a lot, Tim, and we'll wait for you for a much happier interview in 1 week's time. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
And Avery, that was Tim Delisle. Anyone can have a bad day, no? So I'm sure that team right now, of course, doesn't want to even think about iRacing. It's like when you wake up the day after having had a heavy drinking night. No, the next morning you say, "Oh my, I don't want to have even hear the word alcohol for the rest of my life." No, and then that night or the next night, yeah, let's have a beer, no, and you forget about everything. And I'm thinking, sorry for the weird comparison, but I'm thinking that for Tim is more or less the same. Maybe today he will do something else and enjoy his Sunday in Down Under, and then from Monday he will be the champion that he is 100% focused on Imola. What do you think?
Oh yeah, take a little time to get over it, but you gotta have a short memory when it comes to race. You might have a bad race, but you gotta get in the next one and give it everything you got. So I mean, really, as bummer race for him. But the star of the show today was Robert Tarleton. Takes home the win by just a blistering time. Just such a good run for him. But Marco, any last thoughts?
Well, I cannot wait for. I mean, we already excited for Imola, not only because it's my quote-unquote home track in iRacing, but also because the series is always exciting, and now we have a lot of things already on our plate for next Saturday. So, is Team Delay going to redeem himself? Is Robert Harton going to continue this incredible form he has showed? Partially last season, and now basically for the entirety of this season, he's been very quick. He had a couple of bad starts, but when he starts good, he qualifies always well. So can he continue on this streak? Because I think that we never had back-to-back races won by anyone that was not Team Delisle since we started broadcasting this series. So Robert has that going on for him. And all these drivers, fantastic field, very tight as per usual. Imola qualifying is going to be massively important, and also racing there the same days as the real life F1 race. So what more do you want?
Oh, absolutely exciting! First off, congratulations to Robert Tarleton for a phenomenal performance, taking home his first broadcasted win. Want to thank everybody for tuning in to Apex Racing TV. If you like what you saw coming in next week, they'll be at Imola with these F3.5 cars, and it's going to be a blast. From the greatest racetrack in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, from the seats of Marco and I in Italy and South Dakota. This has been another broadcast of the Formula 3.5 Challenge, and we'll see you next week here on Apex Racing TV. Night.